Let's face it, picture framing can be expensive, but doesn't have to be at Framing4Yourself.com, where you can name your own price. Here's how. Let's say you have a 16 by 20 print you want to frame. Navigate to Custom Framing by clicking Custom Framing on the menu bar. Under Step 1, enter the dimensions of the item you want to frame. Scroll down to Step 2 and select a frame. The available frames are divided into categories and are in order by width. Generally, narrow frames cost less than wider frames, and metal frames cost less than wood. Let's select Oxford from the black frame category, a 1.5 inch wide wood frame. Scroll down to Step 3 and select a mat. Regular mats cost less than conservation grade mats, but perhaps you have heard somewhere that you should always opt for conservation grade materials when framing. Let's select a white conservation grade mat. Scroll down to Step 4 and select your acrylic, the popular substitute for glass in framing. It is both more durable and lighter in weight than glass. UV acrylic filters out 98% of UV radiation, which can cause your art to fade out over time. Let's select that. Next, let's select the backing. We can select either regular foam board or acid-free foam board. We want to protect the art, so let's select acid-free foam board. Finally, we get the option of having the frame assembled or assembled ourselves. It seems like making a frame might be hard, so let's have it assembled. There, we have customized our frame job and we are ready to see the price. But before we do that, we might want to consider our budget. What we were thinking we might want to spend. The art itself was not expensive. It was not an original print or a limited edition. It is not something that would warrant a pricey frame job. Maybe $100 is what feels right. So what do we have here? Let's calculate the total. $173.53 is over our budget. It helps that all orders placed in the custom framing section receive free shipping, but it's still too much. So let's make adjustments. In this case, we've already acknowledged that the art we're framing is not rare or expensive. So why are we paying to preserve it for generations? Conservation framing should be reserved for art that has the potential to grow in value over time. As a general thing, anything that can be easily reproduced, such as posters, digital images, or open-ended prints, is unlikely to increase in value for the simple reason that if the demand increases, the supply can be increased to meet it. For more on this subject, see our video, Making the Right Choices when it comes to conservation and archival framing. By changing the mat to a regular mat, the acrylic to regular acrylic, the foam board to regular foam board, then calculating again, we reduce the price by $30. Let's see if we can reduce it further. Knowing that narrower frames are less costly than wider frames, let's try a 1.8 inch wide black frame rather than the 1.5 inch Oxford frame we chose earlier. Let's select Octave. That reduces the price by $25. Now let's consider the cost of assembly. We are paying for this because we assume assembling the frame will be time-consuming and difficult. But by clicking on the link and viewing the video, we see that assembling the frame with the slot and peg system is actually easy. Let's save the $10 and assemble it ourselves. Let's see if we can get it even lower. Ask yourself, do you really need a mat? Today, many items are framed without mats. That's because a mat adds to the cost of framing in two ways. It adds to the cost of the mat itself, but it also makes the frame larger. When you forego a mat, the frame size will be reduced to the size of the artwork. Our 16 by 20 print with a mat requires a frame size of 20 by 24, but without a mat, it's just a 16 by 20. Let's remove the mat and see what happens to the price. Just check the box under step 3 that says, I do not need a mat, and recalculate. Wow, now you are way under budget. So we can add some things back if we like. If you prefer the 1.5 inch wide Oxford frame over the 1 1/8 inch octave, let's choose it again. And while we don't need UV filtering, it might be nice to have non-glare acrylic so our presentation is never interrupted by glare. After we make those changes and recalculate, we find we are right on our budget. Yes, picture framing can be expensive, but by using online custom framing at Framing4Yourself.com, you can customize your frame job to get the price you like. Just go to custom framing on the menu bar to get started.